This is a spoiler warning for Jedi Survivor. Hello, welcome to the Joystick Frequency. It's a video game podcast that doubles as a video game book club where you're a member just by listening in. I'm your host Trent, joining me are my two regular co-hosts Walker.
Hello.
And Brady.
Hi.
So last time we touched on Jedi Survivor and what else? I think it was just all Jedi Survivor, correct? Yeah.
Basically, yeah.
It was pretty much all Jedi Survivor. Now that I've beaten the game on top of everyone else now, we'll have a small discussion about it, like 10, 15 minutes hopefully. But we're going to go more into the showcases of the games coming out later this year and early next year.
Yeah, fake E3 happened.
Yeah, we're going to try a different format than we usually do, and we're going to actually be watching some of the trailers while we go into it this time. So we'll see how it works, see how we like it. But without further ado, we're not going to talk about our months since we recorded only about 2.5 weeks ago, almost 3. So yeah, we'll just go ahead and go into Jedi Survivor. What would y'all like to say about it first before I spill how I feel about it now that I've beaten it?
Oh, story moments.
Yes.
Let's see.
Holy
Can we talk
fuck.
about my boy Cal finally getting laid? What?
Hang on.
No, why are we cutting that out? Don't do that.
No, we're not cutting it out. I forgot to put the spoiler warning for it.
Oh, gotcha. Spoiler,
All right,
Cal
Cassie,
gets
put that
laid.
up.
Alright, can we talk about
put mine at the beginning of the podcast. So.
Can we talk about my boy Cal getting laid now?
Yes.
Absolutely.
Because I've been rooting for that romance since 2018 when the first one came out. Marin is best girl, Cal is best boy. They deserve each other.
100%.
Finally, they kiss, and then that's the least exciting thing about the rest of the scene.
Yeah, we can
Which is
basically
wild.
pick
because
up right where we left off, because Trent stopped before we recorded the last podcast right before that big set piece where the temple is actively getting attacked by this massive squid-like mining unit. Oh man, there's some really, really fun just gameplay moments in that.
That platforming sequence was probably the best platforming sequence I've seen in that game so far, and honestly, it trumps most platforming sequences that I've done, period. I can't think of one currently that comes to mind that will beat it, but you're very right. The game does end up becoming a lot like Celeste, just with how much movement ability you have in that game, and you get to reset it over and over again with the dash ability that goes through the force fields as well. Oh my god, they did so well at running you into it and then being okay, so you got the handles on it now. All right, cool. Now do this, and it's a fucking 5-minute long sequence where you can't fuck up.
Yeah,
it was fucking awesome.
I remember missing one jump about halfway through the sequence. Damn mind, I gotta run it all back again, hit all the just flying through the portals, and just like you said, popping out and having everything reset for you, being able to do that midair jump and dash again. They laid it out in just the purest, most fun route they could have done through the whole thing.
I remember with the reset, it's so easy to fix yourself too if you have an issue, because I remember I dashed through one of those portals and I was too low to grab the next thing, so I just jumped backwards, dashed back through the wall that I just came from, jumped again, and then dashed back through it to get higher.
Nice.
Yeah. I definitely was not it was definitely a panic, but I was able to nail it and get it done to where I could move on. But
yeah, there's a lot of this game is surprisingly forgiving of aerial maneuvers, just because of how many tricks they give you. You can jump against those the running walls and reset your jumps. You can jump through things and reset your jumps. Man, it's so much fun. That whole sequence and the movement in general in this game is just
It's really, really well done, especially for a 3D platformer that isn't super platforming heavy. I imagine when they pitched this game, it was oh, well, you're just mainly trying to get from point A to point B, and you get to fight cool stuff in between, or you get to solve fun puzzles. I don't imagine them ever pitching it as a platformer, but man, does it play and feel well. And speaking of Celeste, actually, how much have you combed through Jeddah? Did you find a little tear hidden behind a wall?
I have not done Jeddah yet. I have 100%ed the smaller planets, and I just have to go through Kobo and Jeddah. Yeah, I just got done with Coruscant. I've already done Tanalorr, which isn't much. Nova Garon. What's the Shattered... Oh, okay, actually, I haven't gone through the Shattered Moon yet.
Just that.
Yeah, so I have the Shattered Moon, Jeddah, and Kobo left, so...
Nice. Yeah, on Jeddah, there's a specific tear that is purely platforming based, and it is super fun. It gave me such like a throwback to Celeste itself.
I think originally you said it was on Coruscant. That's why I went and did it, because I'm like, I want that platform puzzle. And so I went and found everything in Coruscant, and the last thing I found was the Soul Tear. That's Fractured Malice. Fuck that one.
What is that one? I haven't gone back and done like...
Which one is that?
Fractured Malice is a combat challenge where it throws you into a fighting arena with 2 Rancors.
Oh, yes.
Double Rancor.
I think I mentioned that in our last podcast.
Yes, you did, and I was very confused.
Playing on the hardest difficulty, going against Rancors, there's no leniency. You can't mess up literally once. They literally have a grab that lunges them across the field, can reach through the other Rancor to grab you, and just bite you and insta-kill you, like literally instant. That is the only thing I've lowered the difficulty on. I lowered it to story mode, killed the 2 Rancors, pumped my difficulty back up, left, and just shook my head the entire time, furious, because I just spent... I think I told you I spent like 2 hours trying to beat it myself.
I don't think you found Ogdo, right?
No, not yet. I'm assuming that's got to be on Kobo, I'm assuming.
That would be a safe assumption, yeah.
Yeah.
It's hidden in a spot that I honestly didn't expect it to be. Because I got spoiled that the spawn of Ogdo was in the game. I just didn't know what it was, like where I could find it. So inevitably, when I did stumble across it as I was exploring, I still have not beat it. It does. Its fighting style does not gel with the crossguard stance that well.
So, did you not fight the tear in the merchant shop next to the tavern thing? Because once you beat the spawn of Ogdo, there's a new tear that shows up.
Oh, so no, I still haven't beaten Ogdo itself.
That one is very similar to Fractured Malice in that it's 2 Ogdo-Vogdos. It's Ogdo-Vogdo and spawn of Ogdo-Vogdo.
Fucking Christ. What is that? That's just a cruel joke, frankly.
Yeah, that
I don't know if that's
and the 2
worse
Rancors are the only times I turned down my difficulty.
I don't know if that's worse than 2 Rancors, or like as bad, or like slightly better, honestly.
I will say they do block each other more than the Rancors do, apparently. Because you can hide behind one and not get hit by the other one.
That's...
Let's go to some actually fun boss fights, though. What'd you think of Ravis when you got there?
Oh my god, dude. Ravis... I think Ravis was my favorite boss fight of the game, honestly.
Ravis was really cool.
Especially, like, he has a lot of switch-ups that he does mid-combo. And so if you... Sometimes you can find yourself getting caught by something that he's throwing out because you're expecting the other one, and then he does the switch up, and then you get annihilated. It only took me like 7 or 8 tries to beat him, but I felt really that one was really fun, especially because whenever he hit you, there wasn't a lot of like knockback or anything, so it felt like you were just you were actually holding your own the entire time. So there were a lot of deaths that I had where it was just like, oh, I didn't even notice my health bar because like I didn't get knocked back or anything. I just like took a little bit of chip damage or something like that.
Right.
And then going into the second phase, and then he takes everything he did in the first phase and then just makes it faster, hits harder, and fucking just waylays on you. Oh, dude, it was such a good fight. And I love the story that's actually going through, like the conversation that's actually going through it, how he's only been bested once, he wasn't granted his warrior's death that he wanted, And then, like, finally, whenever you beat him, you grant him his warrior's death, which is really, really cool. I really like that idea that, like, Ravis, like, as much as he, like, wants Dagon to succeed, he also just realizes when he's beaten and just wants his warrior's death, the end that he should have gotten a while ago, but was not granted to him.
After all these years, finally a worthy combatant.
Yeah.
And it was BD1. No. Ravis? Go ahead. Sorry.
Oh, go ahead. I was going to change the subject.
Ravis was really, really cool. I explicitly remember when I knocked through his first health bar, and the cutscene started playing. I'm like, fuck, I don't have any stems left. I've got a quarter health. As soon as the cutscene ends, he just slams me, and it's like, all right, well, running that back again, because the second phase really, really ramps up the difficulty, I felt like. But honestly, it was still able to conquer it and move on to the next combatant.
It felt like it was actually pretty balanced, in my opinion, too. Like,
yeah, once you like learned his attack patterns and stuff, it was fair. It did not feel brutal at any point.
My favorite thing is he felt a lot more balanced than Bode, who we'll talk about later on. He found a lot more balanced weaving in his unblockables with his blockables.
Yeah.
While we'll get to Bode later, but some of his weaving was bullshit.
Well, why don't we talk about Bode now? He's the next boss, right?
Well, actually,
Not quite.
I think
got another one to talk about.
Yeah, I just want to, right after Ravis, like, Ravis was a really high point for the game, and then it takes you to the Sky Observatory, which, holy shit, dude, I walked around the corner, saw that observatory, and my eyes just, like, lit up, and I'm just like, holy fuck. I already, like, thought this game was about at the level of Fallen Order, which I had just played right before it, and then I turn that corner and see the Sky Observatory, I'm like, yeah, no, this game's better. This game's, that was where it finally had already gotten higher than Fallen Order, and then the sequence after that of actually, like, exploring it with Bode himself. Bode throwing out all these death flags as you're getting to the final Dagon Garen fight as well. Really cemented the game as being better than the original for me already.
That lead up too was a lot. They started throwing a lot of enemies at you.
So many robots.
Yeah. I was getting shredded going up and desperately looking for, like, meditation points. It's just like,
me and Walker had a lunch date a little bit ago, and we talked about the fact that was where they started throwing, like, every possible weird combination of enemy to try and keep you on your toes. That was where they finally, like, started throwing it at you, and it felt really good to go up and finally get through that. And right before you fight Dagon, you go through, like, what is it? Like, I know it's two B2 droids, and then, like, an army of, like, a small legion of B1, B2, or B1 blaster and melee droids.
Yeah, so when you get to the top of the observatory, you fight Dagon Gera, who's the next boss. Let's briefly touch on him. He had some
Fight 3, yes.
aesthetics going on.
Man, I went into this boss fight thinking it was going to be the last boss fight of the game. And I was kind of shocked at, like, where, like, it kind of felt like it was ending pretty quick. But he throws down. He absolutely throws the gauntlet down on you as you're coming into this room. Yeah.
Force arm, dude. Oh my god.
Basically, he takes all the moves that he had been using on you in the previous two fights, and as they kind of had been, like, getting stronger as the new fights encountered, goes full out for this last 3-phase fight.
Yeah. You end up killing him upside down on the ceiling.
Yeah, that was fucking cool. That was a cool idea.
The clones sucked.
I am very sad that I beat this fight on my first try, honestly. I wish I could have experienced it a lot more, because I'd probably have a lot more to say about it, but at this point, I think it was supposed to feel this way where you fought Dagon twice already. You've bested him twice already. This third time should be no sweat, especially whenever you had Bode helping you for the first phase. So, but the mind shit that he fucking pulls on you in the final cutscene, and then you fucking flip the script on him like you've been learning from him the entire game was the fucking icing on the cake for it. It was fantastic.
Yeah, and the reason it only felt like the final boss of the game is because you get another one, surprise hidden boss. That comes with a nice knife in the back.
Sure
looking at
does.
you, Bode.
So after your defeat
Everyone
of Dagon
called
Gera,
the traitor at the beginning of the game, then forgot about, and then was blindsided by at the end.
precisely my experience. After the Luger Hulk, the big like Clone Wars style ship that you go into earlier on before I think the second Dagon fight. At this point I was like, oh okay, well at this point Bode's earned my trust. He's on my side. He's got this kid. I'm for him. I get it. Oh man, you get back to Jeddah after like this great victory against this evil Force user, and you report your findings to Seer. You're like, hey guys, we can still get the Tantalor now. We can make this a new like hub for all of the Jedi going into hiding. We can use it for the path. And everyone's like, yeah, let's do it. Bode's been a little bit weird about this, like sharing the planet thing. He was like, oh, initially this was like just going to be a place for maybe you guys, but me and my daughter just to go and crash at and not be, mixed up in any of this stuff. And I wanted to bring more people into it. So, what's the logical progression, guys? Where do we go from there? How was Bode proceed?
If I was having a disagreement with a friend of mine, I would immediately shoot his mentor/father figure and then threaten to kill everyone else he cares about. Is that not where everyone else would go?
His mentor/father figure that we thought was dead, that was introduced in this game.
Oh my god. I was so happy when they reintroduced oh gosh, what's his name?
Cordova.
Indo Cordova, yes. When they reintroduced Indo Cordova into like the sphere, because in the first game we only saw him through like projections and holograms, exactly. So getting to physically meet him in the flesh, it's like, oh my god, I straight up thought you were dead like ages ago. It's because he is dead, just a little bit further forward. Yeah, Bode pulls him up, shoots him, and
calls the Empire on you.
Calls the Empire, completely selling out this hidden base that Seer and him had set up.
Then Bode tries to escape on a speeder, which you chase him without BD-1. So whenever you finally confront Bode, you're fighting him, and then this is the fucking twist of the dagger in your back. Bode, you're getting the best of Bode, and then all of a sudden you get force pushed back by Bode.
You sure do.
Holy fuck,
He's
dude.
a Jedi.
Oh,
no way.
Criminy. I did not see that coming at all. I was genuinely flabbergasted. You weren't joking. It was the second dagger. It was like, fuck, dude. I trusted you.
Oh my god. Especially you have your character literally has an ability to sense Force users. How is he hiding it this entire time? It was fucking crazy. So you do as well as you can in that fight because you don't have BD-1, which means you can't heal yourself. And then your character will end up passing out on the Jeddah surface. And then there's a small little loading screen, and then you go, and next thing you know, you're controlling another Jedi.
One we know well at this point. How'd y'all like playing as Seer?
I was upset that I couldn't use both my lightsabers.
Yes.
I
had gone the entire game not using the single-bladed stance since the beginning, since the very first tutorial. I hadn't gone back and replayed it at all. So I was going into it, I didn't know any. I think you go in with all of the technique upgrades. You have all the skills fully unlocked, whether or not you actually have them unlocked. Because I went in, I was basically having to relearn brand new skills that I couldn't even see the menu for. but she plays very differently because she only has 4 healing abilities. I think when I went into this point, BD had something like 11 or 12, so getting knocked down to 4 like hurt. But she deals insane damage.
Yeah, she also they also don't throw that many like crazy enemy configurations at you either. It's almost like it was just hey, here's a warm up to get used to this character and fighting this way, so that in case you have to fight a boss or something, you're at least semi confident.
That's crazy though. We're defending the temple in Jeddah here. So we do that. We defend our way through. Like, they're asking around, trying to figure out what the fuck happened to Cal, like where he went.
Launching some ancient stone bombs at walkers as well along the way. That was pretty fucking cool.
That was super fun.
You finally end up getting back to the temple, telling Grease and Marin to stay at the Mantis. Get it up and going, and then you go back to the archives to go and get something. Then you hear fighting on the other side of the door. And then you fucking hear the signature fucking exhale of Star Wars just... Oh, fuck.
Round 2. I did not expect to see Vader come back in this game, and he came back livid.
In my opinion... I don't know if y'all had the same problems with this. This was the hardest fight in the game.
This was the hardest fucking fight in the game.
Vader's a beast.
Absolutely. I was stuck here. I played at this point. I got into this boss fight. I did like 9 or 10 or however many attempts. I had to call it a night because I was just getting frustrated. Next day I go in and I do another 20 attempts. Eventually I get him. I was stuck here for a while. I was not having a good time.
Yeah, I did it in about 9 or 10.
I'm fucking good.
Yeah, like, it was a dope ass fight though. I got really used to his freaking patterns, and so I don't know. I just overcame them easier. Skill issue, man.
Definitely a skill issue. It did not help that I was super unfamiliar with the weapon I was using, so I was like, okay, cool.
I had just swapped because I went through all 5 and upgraded all the ability trees of every stance. I had just swapped before this all happened to the single blade and had like a few upgrades in it, so I had like just started getting used to the single blade whenever I went into it.
Well, that works out nicely.
And so this Vader fight, it was not the hardest fight for me. Bode, the last Bode one was, honestly. But the way that you see how this fight happened is like the coolest thing I think they did in this little quote unquote post game snippet, or at least post Dagon part of the game.
Oh. Man, yeah. Do y'all have any additional comments for the Vader fight? It was just everything up until the 3rd phase where you shove him into the bookshelves and he gets, like, reignited, right? And, like, the rage goes off the handle. But he was fine up until that point. Then that was my brick wall every single time because he starts getting a lot more aggressive in comparison. And only having the 4 healing, I was definitely relying on how much healing I had with Cal, and getting knocked down to only 4 for this fight, I was like, oh, okay.
And when you finally best him, he ends up staggering away from this fight, but it's the classic, you can tell by the camera angle that whenever Seer goes in for the final blow that, like, it's that classic camera angle that makes it look like, oh yeah, she definitely stabbed him through the chest, whenever in reality it was vice versa.
Yeah. Unfortunately, we do have a whole set of movies where Vader is one of the primary antagonists. Yeah, and that happens after this, exactly. So there was only one way this was going to turn out, and fuck, dude, I did not want Seer to die. I was so heartbroken seeing that happen. Especially
because throughout the entire game, she didn't come with you on the Mantis at all, and she kept saying that she was busy, and this is the time where she finally agreed, yes, she'll join us on the Mantis, and you'll get the whole group back together again, and then before it can happen, Bode fucking goes and ruins it. And so the way that you experience this fight, by the way, that I mentioned earlier, is through Cal's echo of like he sees through the echo of Seer, or through an echo on Seer, sees how the fight plays out after the events of the temple falling, essentially. Like, holy shit, that was so cool. Like, what a way to fucking have that fight happen, and then like reveal the time jump to Cal finding the body, kind of thing. I don't know. I was just really fascinated with that aspect of it. You finally end up going to Tandalore after a brief stop on Kobo to just get the arrays opening a portal for you, doing a really hard battle. Yeah?
Not quite. You need to...
Oh, shit!
Yeah, we're on a revenge mission, and Bode took off somewhere. And we know where he went. He went to a little Imperial post on a planet known as Nova Garen. And this is your standard Star Wars Imperial base infiltration mission. And it has...
Infiltration turned complete annihilation of the fucking base.
This is another set of, like, a lot of ads getting thrown at you. Which, to be fair, I get. We're in the middle of straight up an Imperial base. So they have the resources to be able to throw stuff at this intruder. Because who the fuck's going to come and attack an Imperial base directly? Dude hyped up on I'm pissed juice.
Yeah, you slaughtered those Imperials. And you get all the way to Bode's little home away from home. And you meet his daughter. How nice.
How lovely.
And it turns out Bode became an Imperial spy to protect her. And himself, because he is a Jedi. And you have like a little standoff with Bode.
You have another real quick chat, a little conversation.
Yeah.
Basically, Cal tries his damnedest to talk Bode down. He's like, "Hey, like, come on, we could talk about this. We can make this chill."
Bode is having none of it.
None of it.
So you end up having... He runs away, calls the guards, and flies to Tandalore, and you have to fight your way out of the base using anger.
We sure do. And this is where we get a massive upgrade to our slow ability. It's no longer a slow anymore. It is channeling the dark side, which I think is a wild jump for this game to take. It is, if you click in both of your sticks, the game goes into easy mode because you suddenly deal insane amounts of damage. You get like this crazy red, like narrow vision as like everything kind of hones in and focuses in on like what's closest to you. And yeah, you can wipe through these like I forget exactly what they're called, but the upgraded battle droids, they're like the super buff, like tanky ones. You can take them down in like 3 hits now, which is insane.
The DX droids, by the way, are like some of the coolest enemies I think I've fought in a Star Wars game. They're fucking badass, in my opinion.
They're badass. I don't think... It's hard for me to have anyone take the top place over Droidicas.
But what about the boss that was here?
Oh my gosh, the best boss in the game?
The best boss in the game, after you fight waves of enemies. Go ahead.
My bad. He's not on Nova Garen. He was right before you went up to the observatory. Remember that brief little hangar stop that you took?
Okay, well, we still skipped over him, so we need to loop back around.
Yeah.
Because as you're making your way through after waves of enemies have been thrown at you, I remember I didn't have any stims left at this point, so I was expecting a meditation point. So open a series of doors, and then a boss bar appears above screen.
Rick the door technician.
Rick the door technician.
Rick the door technician. All those doors you've been encountering that you can't get through because it's not available from this side, it's all that guy's fault.
Specifically went through and like screwed him a little bit tighter.
Yep.
And now he's here for you. He starts running down this hallway, super intense music playing. And then I think I took him down in one hit.
Yeah, no, he dies immediately.
He's just a standard enemy, but they give him this insane like music and bar just to crank up the fear factor. It was so good.
I was not sure what was going on, so I deflected his blow, and he staggered in one deflection. So I was like, "Oh, zoop, dead." Oh, okay, cool. What a fucking spoof, man! That was so good.
It's fantastic.
Yeah. So we can just jump right back in because
Yeah.
what pulls you out of the stupor of being enraged this way by embracing the dark side? What could pull you out of it at this point?
Well, normally, in the every other time it happens in series, you spend like a minute of reflection or something on it before whatever pulls you out. But instead, they spend like 5 seconds on it, and then Marin's like, "Hey, Cal, don't do that." and he's like, "Okay, babe," pretty much.
She snaps him out of it, basically. Yeah.
Yeah, like really quickly for a Star Wars, which.
Well, to be fair, he wasn't full dark side. He was just dipping his toe in, and she just like grabbed him back from the ledge.
Hey, bad. Stop.
Yeah, cut it out. Breathe.
So then after Nova Garen, he's going to Tanalorr, so you make your brief stop on Kobo to realign the arrays, do another, your last bit of ad clearing going to the room of the, where to align the arrays, essentially. And that room was fucking rough. The Purge Troopers that, have the guns in the back, they're little bitches, man. While I'm over here fighting melee guys, they just keep fucking shooting me, stopping me from deflecting fuckers. Like, fuck those guys. I'm glad they're dead.
I ended up dying in that fight, and being the idiot I was thinking, oh, this is just going to be a story beat. I didn't expect any fighting to happen, so I didn't touch the meditation point that's right outside the room. I got warped all the fucking way back to the ship. I'm like, alright, well, I'm pissed, running back. But yeah, that is like a last real hoorah of like standard enemy fights until you get to Tanalorr, which is where you're off to next.
Yeah, you go to Tanalorr, you go to fight Bode, Marin accompanying you along the way. You end up meeting his daughter outside a temple there, and walk her in and try and talk Bode down. But like a lot of Star Wars characters, it's a common trope in it. They're too stubborn to stand down most of the time. So Bode doesn't stand down, and you end up having to fight him to the death.
Really cool 3-phase boss fight. You move like from arena to arena with the help of Marin's like teleporting magic, which is super fun. There's one point where Bode grabs you and throws you off, and you fall into a portal, loop back around, punch him in the face. It's great. The really cool fight, I think. You don't often get a face super aggressive Force users. Like the closest thing we got was Dagon. But even now with Bode's fighting much more aggressively. I struggled a lot with this fight because I was running around with the crossguard stance for most of my experience, only using the dual blade for any time I couldn't get in hits with the slower attacks. Oh, I basically relied on the dual blade for this fight because I just could not get a hit in. He's really, really quick.
Yeah, he's really quick, and that third phase, he throws so many unblockables out at you, and it's at a range, so like you have to try and dodge him while also closing the distance to him, and then oftentimes you close the distance and he'll back up and throw grenades at you or force push you or try and like throw you backwards kind of stuff. It was very, like, I found myself brick walled at the third phase, and I think all but one of my deaths against that fight were at the third phase, especially because right before you go into that fight, there's this whole thing that you have this whole conversation with Marin about not embracing the dark side. And then Bode's punching the shit out of you on the ground from transition to second to third phase. And it fades to the respawn screen almost. And but it gives you the option to click in the sticks to embrace the dark side. So being the smart person like I am, I didn't click in the sticks.
I made the same
because
mistake.
You're not supposed to embrace the dark side. And what happens? You fucking die.
You do. You get a game over.
Sometimes you either die a hero or you live long enough to see yourself become the villain.
That's true. If you
I
want
clicked the
canon
sticks
ending-
immediately because I fucking hated Bode and wanted him to die, and was fully willing to go villain.
Hell yeah, dude.
Oh no, Brady's the one we got to watch out for.
Hey, sometimes killing someone for revenge is justified.
To be fair, I was mashing those sticks the second time around. I was like, fuck this guy, fuck this guy. Man, yeah.
I thought about it. I thought about it. I was like, what if I do this 5 times and then like a different ending happens or some bullshit? I was like, nah, just click it. Because I really liked Bode. I think Bode was one of my favorite characters through the whole thing. And I hate how stubborn Star Wars characters are. Walker did come up with a good point.
Yeah, I brought this up to Trent. I want to bring it up to you, Brady. I'm curious your thoughts. So, Trent mentioned like the sudden bullheadedness of Bode and his unwillingness to back down, basically from this whole Tantalor scheme. Like it's his place now. I thought he really started acting this way after the defeat of Dagon in Fight 3. Do you think there's any potential that some of the Force mind fuckery that he was doing with us, he was also doing on Bode, but Bode was just more susceptible to it, and it fucked him up more permanently?
I think that's potentially very possible. I also didn't think he was being like sure, he was sticking to his guns. I didn't think it was unwarranted stubbornness. The guy killed a Jedi Master and was called down the Empire. You really, if you've been living as an Imperial spy, that's going to fuck with your head. You're not going to be like, okay, I'll just let live. I'll go take my daughter out into the Empire I just betrayed to run away for a while. We'll leave, or we'll bring more people in. He was stubborn, yes, but not in an unwarranted way for that character.
I guess he did kind of burn all of his bridges.
He burned all his bridges, and his only priority is protecting his daughter. If Cal survives, he's going to bring in a shit ton of people that might eventually lead the Empire back to his daughter. In his mind, it's either kill or let my daughter die.
And, well, I mean, he doesn't do either of those.
Nope, he dies.
He dies. Cal gives him one more chance, and after the conclusion of the fight, and Bode decides to attempt to rush at him, but to no avail.
I loved that Cal shot him unarmed. He disarmed him, gave it a minute, had the gun pointed, had Bode completely powerless, and then pulled the trigger because he had to.
Yeah. I will say the second shot may not have been called for, but I understand.
But I also respected it. I think this one, Cal has been kind of a White Knight character.
Mm-hmm.
He's a fucking Jedi. That's what they do.
And not just a Jedi. I mean, he was a Jedi who was born and raised and brought up during the Clone Wars. He's only known life as a soldier.
Full-blooded Jedi.
Mm-hmm.
This whole story was about kind of, hey, maybe the Jedi weren't right about everything. Maybe it's okay to have some emotions and be a little bit grayer. And I thought that was a really good way to wrap that up in the ending.
Yeah, I would fully agree. I really like where the story ended up and kind of the roads that it set up for the future. Because this doesn't just cut to black after you kill Bode. Everyone walks outside and you have a funeral for the three Jedi in here. Yeah, 3 Jedi who have died. So you have funeral pyres for Endo Cordova, Bode, and Seer. And you get this really kind of tragic scene of Cal...
Trauma stare.
Yeah, literally trauma staring, but just standing vigil for all 3 of them. And you see everyone else moving really quickly around him to showcase this time passing. And then that's the game. You get a chance to... you get one real quick word from Seer, which I thought was interesting. I believe she reaches out through the Force and speaks to Cal, because Cal's like, hey, basically, what do I do now? And Seer basically just pushes him on the path and says, hey, you've got this kid now. You've got to look after her. Those aren't the exact words, because I was already crying during the time, so I don't remember the exact dialogue, but it was to that thought process. Which, Hey, another sequel where Cal is our master, like the Jedi Master. That'd be cool.
I'd watch that. I'd play that.
I'd play anything that's a continuation of the story at this point.
Yeah, that's
any reason to get back into this world. Hell yeah.
Exactly.
They've done such a good job with these characters. I was so happy that nothing happened to Marin, because I was very, very concerned that something would happen to Marin as well. And same with Grease.
Bode almost fucking killed her.
almost.
But didn't.
This set of two games, I think, has reignited my affinity for Star Wars, which I mentioned the issue I had with like just the community back in the last podcast, I think, or at least I've mentioned it in the podcast. I think I'm like willing to just fuck the community. I don't give a shit. I'll fucking watch it. I'll experience it how I want to, because like I would not have wanted to. I would have kicked myself if I would have missed this one, because this one is such a fucking good game for me.
Yeah, these games are absolutely phenomenal. And if you want points of where to jump back into Star Wars, let me know, because I have some really good recommendations. There's actually been some really good stuff lately.
But your brother texted me the day I was joking about throwing a rager at the house, and he was like, "The only ragers we have here are Clone Wars binging ragers."
Wait, why am I not invited to those? Wait a minute, I'm gonna have words with my brother now.
Right, well, that was our 45-minute, 10-minute discussion about
Yeah!
Survivor.
I said 10 to 15.
Well, an
Yeah,
hour
guess
45
what?
minutes. Do we want to real quickly do like updated reviews and scores for Jedi, like final thoughts before we move on? Because I don't think we did that last time. For Survivor.
I thought I did. I thought I gave it like a 9.5 out of 10.
Oh fuck! You know what? We did, but Trent, if you want to do it, we could.
Yeah, so now that I've played through at least the full story of the game, I still have to comb through. I'm going to 100% it because I'm a fucking nutcase. I think it was a 10 for me up until the points where, honestly, Bode was like too stubborn to back down, even whenever Cal and Marin were there. Even when Cal was just there on Nova Garen talking to him with his daughter in the room, I was like hoping that Bode would just realize, hey, they're not gonna do anything. But even with Brady bringing on the good points that, hey, he did kill a Jedi Master, led to the death of a second one, and then also is betraying the Empire, burning all of his bridges kind of thing, he kind of feels like he doesn't have to. Either way, I've also set on a 9.5 out of 10 for the game now. It's going to be hard to beat this one this year, so.
Super excited to see what Respawn does next.
Yeah, I'm excited to see, even if it's not a Star Wars game, I'm excited to see the next Respawn game.
Fully agree.
Well, I mean, we'll hit it whenever we go through the trailers, right?
Really? Is it in it?
We got, or I don't know if it's Respawn, but we got Star Wars Outlaws, whatever.
Oh yeah, we do have a new Star Wars game.
So we'll go over it in a bit, honestly. So, without that, now that we've gone through our 10 to 15 minute Star Wars discussion.
Hey guys, we need to learn how to count. Okay.
No. Counting we're good at. Guesstimating is bad.
That's fair.
Talking quickly, not great at it.
Especially with something we like.
No, we're talking plenty quick. We just have a lot to say per capita.
Cutting ourselves short.
Yes, there you go.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. So for this next segment, we're actually going to pull up the actual Xbox game showcase. Shall we get started?
Let's get started.
Let's check it out.
Let's go ahead and start out the showcase. Feel free to watch along as we are.
Yeah, I'm
You'll
not
be
sure.
able to roughly guesstimate where we'll be at while we're talking about it, so you might have to pause and tweak a little bit, but should be okay for y'all.
So we are unfiltered reactions.
Wow. I'd go for a sandwich.
This first game is Fable, I believe.
Yes, it's the new Fable game. I've never played any of the previous Fable games, but I know that my partner Emma has, and she's a massive, massive fan. She's really looking forward to this one.
A guest of the show that we or a guest on the show that we had, Liam Archon of Size, is actually a huge Fable fan. So I imagine that whenever this one comes out, he will be all over it, and I license share with him. So I'm sure whenever he buys it, I'll have it. So I'll probably end up playing this one.
It looks incredible.
I fully intend to play this game. I did not play the earlier ones. Well, I played a little bit of one of the earlier Fable games, but I might go back and play them before this one comes out just to get the full experience, because they're classics, right?
Yeah, I've had Fable, I think 2 and 3 downloaded on my Xbox for ages now. I just haven't gotten around to playing them. But man, I love Richard Ayoade in general, so seeing him like come into this game is already super super fun. And playing, as we see here, a giant, which is really funny.
Yeah, they do this whole interview with him, like talking to the camera, and you don't realize that he's actually a fucking giant. That's great. It's a very clever trailer.
Did you see there's actually some discourse originally going out around this trailer? People were like super pissed off that we weren't seeing any gameplay footage and just like this pre-rendered trailer. Turns out this is gameplay. That wasn't a pre-rendered trailer. That was gameplay.
That's game. Oh wow! Yeah, that is really good graphics.
Yeah. So,
hey, they got the sandwich.
There's the sandwich. Richard Ayoade, no.
And it is coming out on Game Pass day one.
I think most of the stuff we go over.
I think most of these,
which is really really nice. It's like one thing I've really loved that Xbox has been doing is most of their like new games coming out of the Xbox studios goes directly onto Game Pass.
This next one I'm excited for. It's called South of Midnight. You can tell it takes place in the fucking boondocks of New Orleans.
It's kind of got this almost stop motion-y feel to it. It looks like a Leica film. Very cool aesthetic.
What was the game that the people before this did again? It was that one, We Happy Few.
Yes.
Yeah, it's made by the people who did We Happy Fews. The trailer opens with this Cajun man playing a guitar, and he's got wrinkles for days on his hands.
Is it wrinkles, or is he a zombie? Because it almost looks zombie-esque.
A little bit of both. A
little bit of both, honestly. Because if you look
I didn't see this trailer originally. I thought I saw it, but I did not.
Really? Okay, this is a good one.
Yeah, I'm. As much as I hate the fact that I'm from Louisiana, I dig anything that deals with the folklore of Louisiana and stuff like that. So.
Oh, he's a giant.
He a big boy.
We got a theme this. We got a theme for this one. It's giant everything. You got a giant in Fable. You got a giant in this game. You got Starfield as a giant game.
Yes.
So, do we know what the gameplay is going to be like in this?
No, I think that all we have currently is just a cutscene here, or like a pre-rendered trailer. So we'll have to see, but the premise itself seems very cool.
What's that rising out of the swamp? She's got some sort of magic.
Looks like a spinning top almost.
Yeah.
I guess
the song's a banger too.
Oh yeah.
During like Compulsion games, also coming on Steam.
Cool. It looks like it's one of those games, one of those storylines where it's a modern kid goes and has to go into an older world of fantasy, probably related to her family, if I had to guess.
Probably, yeah.
Next, we got Massive Entertainment, which this is the one that we briefly mentioned earlier.
Yeah, hey, jumping from Star Wars into more Star Wars. I'm not sure if y'all watched the Ubisoft did their own like direct thing. where they basically went into detail on this and a couple other games.
Okay, what kind of game is it then?
It is an open world bounty hunting game.
Okay.
Interesting.
Yeah. You play as this girl right here with this cute little, like, axolotl dog looking thing. It's phenomenal. Perfect Star Wars creature. But you can command this critter to, like, go and disrupt people or cause, like, distractions or stuff. And right now, it doesn't seem like it's any kind of lightsaber wielding. It looks like it's purely blaster and, like,
I would hope so.
Strategizing, like, your way through places.
Okay.
Looks like it has a main focus on stealth, but with additional combat, like outward combat as well. Very cool. I'm not sure if they show it here, but there's a really fun, not the super battle droids, the, like, stealth droids that you fought in Fallen Order.
Mm-hmm.
You have one of those as, like, your companion character in this.
Oh, yeah, I think they do show that in this because... because I've only seen this trailer and that sounds familiar.
Gotcha.
It looks like there's probably going to be speeder stuff and a ship, maybe?
Yeah, there's definitely a ship that you can jump directly on and jump from planet to planet, and there is ship combat, which is really, really fun. This guy, yeah, this...
Is this like a AAA game? Or is this...
I believe so, yeah.
Okay, so like on the scale of Fallen Order? Nice.
I believe so.
Fucking Rancor.
Our best friend. What was it called?
Yeah.
Massive Entertainment?
Yeah.
Massive Entertainment. It looks like it's going to be like a crime syndicate. You're probably fighting against a crime syndicate. Definitely at least a few planets.
Yeah. Some of the gameplay that was shown in the Ubisoft thing was showing them, like, literally jumping on a ship, flying around the nearby space from the planet and, like, doing some combat, jumping to hyperspace to the local space of another planet and touching down on that planet.
Okay.
Cool. So, very cool stuff. I'm very, very excited. Oh yeah, I forgot we have these talking bits.
Can we skip the talking bits?
I can try here. Let's see. Yeah, we'll just jump to list is 926 here. No,
Sick.
world premiere.
All right, right into the next one. This should be this is 33
Oh,
Immortals. Holy crap! Like,
this game looks really fucking cool. I'm not sure if y'all have played Spiritfarer before.
yes, or part of it. I played the bit I could on it on Game Pass until it went away, and I'm waiting for it to come back.
Fair.
I might just say fucking buy it eventually.
It's cheap. I think it's like $20. Spiritfarer is very, very cute. It has the same kind of art style, except it's primarily a 2D side scroller. But it was like the main premise being you're running around like gathering spirits. You take the role of not what's his name, Chiron, as like the literal Spiritfarer, like moving these spirits from the world of living to the world of the dead. It's got a really nice message of like fate and passing on and like coming to terms with that. Very, very lovely game just around that. But this new one just looks absolutely insane because they've definitely swapped to more of a Hades style gameplay.
Yeah, it looks Diablo-esque, honestly, in gameplay at least. And it has buck wild 33-player combat. Oh, co-op. Sorry, not combat, co-op. Which, what the fuck?
Yeah, that's going to be a very busy screen.
Yeah.
Incredible, but...
I could barely get 6 people together for a Destiny raid. How am I going to get 33 people together for whatever this is?
33 Immortals, no less.
Yeah, it's... fuck off. It's coming out in 2024. We're going to have to see how that is, because, like,
and it's
it looks
be on
fairly
Game Pass.
interesting.
Definitely check it out. I would highly, highly recommend Spiritfarer for anyone listening.
Here's one that Trent's been looking forward to. Payday 3.
I'm excited for it because like I plan on playing it. I've not played either of the other 2 Playdays.
Really?
Yeah.
Me neither, actually.
But
These strike me as games that you would really like, Trent.
Yeah, this seems like it's right up my alley kind of game. Like, I love GTA Heist and stuff like that. This just seems like a better made version of it, honestly.
Now, as
It
someone
won't-
who hasn't played Payday, do you need co-op for this, or is it a single-player game?
I think you
I think
can
both.
play single player, but it's very encouraged to be like a 4-player co-op.
Okay.
Also, it has a very big like PC following,
Yeah.
and I believe this is coming direct like only to Xbox, which is kind of surprising. At least
Oh,
listed
it's
here, it's
exclusive.
only coming to Xbox.
Really?
So we shall see. I don't have any concrete information on that, but
Y'all down to rob some banks?
Oh yeah,
In game.
in-game,
in game.
and out of game. Eat the rich.
What, up?
What? And it
Cut that,
looks
Kassa, we
like
don't need
it
the
looks a
NSA here.
lot
The
crisper
ocean's already ahead of you.
than anything I've seen from Payday 2. So it's definitely a fucking jump in graphics at least. And this actually comes out September, so
Oh shit, it's coming
yeah,
soon.
yeah.
Very quick turnaround.
I guess that's true. A couple of these games are coming out this year. This next game,
Oh yeah, it's Atlas. That's right. I think it's Persona 3 Golden.
Oh, okay. I didn't have this one written down, so
I haven't
It
played any of the
is-
Persona games.
I've played Persona 5.
What did you think of Persona?
I liked it. It's kind of like Pokemon with an open world. In that Persona, it's very like you select. It's turn-based. You select moves. Moves have effectiveness against different against different enemies. But it's also just like a school sim at
Yeah.
the same time, where you like manage your time to do different after-school chores and hang out with your friends, and go into the realm of nightmares to fight monsters, and get a job at the flower shop.
typical
standard
high
high
school
school
stuff.
stuff.
Yeah, Persona 3 Reload.
I
Yeah,
might
I've
check
always
this
been
out.
interested in. One of my best friends, she's a massive fan of the Persona series. Has been trying to get me to play since we were kids. So I've been wanting to try and jump in somewhere.
If you jump into Persona 5, be warned, it's fucking long.
I've heard.
Like,
I've heard.
I was
yeah.
expecting a long game and got like to where I thought the endpoint was and was like, okay, this has been a good game. I was not even halfway through yet. It's so long. But this game that is on now is called Avowed.
When this first started playing, I fully thought it was like Assassin's Creed because of the hooded figure walking down. But
Right.
Yeah.
Avowed, this is actually.
I thought it was like Elder Scrolls 6. Like
It's basically Obsidian's take on like the fantasy genre, from my understanding.
Yeah. Obsidian, the people that made Outer Worlds, not Outer Wilds, Fallout New Vegas, and a couple other pretty well-acclaimed RPGs, Pillars of Eternity, I think is theirs. They're making a Skyrim-esque fantasy game.
It looks really
Very
good.
Skyrim-esque.
Yeah, it
but,
looks like an updated it's like Skyrim.
with some new mechanics, new graphics, different abilities.
Yeah.
I love Skyrim. I love Obsidian. I don't see how this could be a bad game for me.
They've been working on this for a while. I think they announced it, oh gosh, back in 2021?
Yeah, they've been working on it a while, and they made some adjustments. Originally, it was like a lot darker, like both in tone and in like color palette.
Right.
So I saw there was some controversy a little bit online about it. It's like, oh, it's not the same thing that we were looking forward to. But
I'm digging the new color palette. I think it
love
adds a lot more life
color
to it.
saturation.
Yeah.
The real world isn't gray.
Yes, exactly. Why would a fantasy world be gray?
Honestly, the biggest thing I disliked about Skyrim was the fact that it had two colors.
That was
Brown
just
and gray.
That was just the vibe of that, like games that came out during that time, though. Like every single game had that like piss saturation layered over the top of everything.
That's true.
But Avowed's coming out next year, and it looks really good. Something I'll definitely be picking up and playing.
Absolutely. We might even talk about it on the podcast. Who knows?
Ooh. Oh, this one. I shit myself when I first saw this trailer because I've been playing Sea of Thieves a little bit on and off with a couple of friends, but one of my friends is really, really into it. But he's also really, really into Star Wars. So when the Rare logo combined with the Lucasfilm logo popped up, I shit myself. I thought there was going to be a Star Wars crossover with Sea of Thieves. But it turns out it's just a return to Monkey Island, which
that would be
I think Monkey Island fits really, really well in the whole Sea of Thieves like continuity. So, cool, good. Have y'all? I haven't played any of the Monkey Island games. Have y'all?
I have not.
I think from my understanding, they're just very much like comedy-heavy point-and-click puzzle-solving games from a while ago. I say a while ago. I'm fucking 25 years old. I shouldn't be talking about a while ago, but...
Yeah, no, I played a lot of Sea of Thieves. I played a lot of Sea of Thieves with y'all. So I'm always down for more content. That's a really fun game I kind of want to get back into. It's been a while since I played.
And I think this is a free update, so if y'all want to play, let me know. Yeah, the first one came out in 1990.
Okay, so that was a while ago.
Yeah,
that was 30 odd years ago.
But they did a Return to Monkey Island remake here recently.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I think last year.
Monkey Island IP getting some love recently, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh, it's not out yet. It's out
Yeah.
next month, July.
In a week.
In a week.
Oh, in a week.
Well, the month's
July.
in a week. The release date is in a week.
Yeah, July is here in a week. We are recording this on June 27th.
Don't
Hey,
tell
there
them
you
when
go.
we are.
They don't have a right to our time. Asbo Studio. Oh,
this is
that's
just the
right.
Microsoft
This
Flight.
is the Microsoft Flight Simulator.
Yeah, they're doing a new one. And they're adding, I think, Dune vehicles into the
old
current
one.
game. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, very cool.
It's cool. I dig Flight Sim. But I think that's the extent of my care for it. It's fun.
It's cool to look at. I don't know that I would ever play it, but I get why people would.
Yeah.
If
seems
I
like-
want a flight sim, I want a $3,000 machine that actually makes it feel like I'm actually flying a plane.
Right. Speaking of, this is not related to the podcast, but did y'all know that a couple of weeks ago me and Nathan went skydiving out of a plane?
Fuck,
Y'all
what?
did?
Yeah.
When was this? Oh, obviously a couple of weeks ago. What'd you think?
2 weeks ago. It was amazing. It was a blast. Yeah, it was like a just sketchy little propeller plane.
Hell yeah.
And we fucking jumped out of that bitch.
And you made it to the
wasn't-
ground. Look at you.
It made it to the ground, didn't die. It was not as scary as I thought it'd be, except the moment right after you jump out of the plane. Because going up, you're fine because you're in a plane. And you're not thinking about it or I wasn't thinking about it too much. And then getting out of the plane was also fine because I was so focused on getting my feet right that I wasn't scared. And then we
Right.
jumped, and that was fun. And then we started doing flips, and that was not as fun
Ooh.
because I was seeing the sky. And I was like, oh shit, the parachute's underneath me. That's not good.
No.
And then we
very
flipped
much
back over, and the guy strapped to my back balanced us out, and it was great from there.
Oh,
There was a
fantastic.
good quarter of a second where I was scared for my life, but
Yeah. Y'all have
10
fun
out
with
of 10
y'all's
would
white-
recommend if you feel okay with that.
Yeah, y'all have fun with y'all's white people shit. I'm good.
I've been interested. I've gone back and forth on wanting to jump out of a plane. Currently, I think I'm in the no-go zone, but I could probably easily be convinced.
I've talked to Nathan 3 times since three times since last week, and he hasn't fucking said a goddamn word about it to me. He doesn't tell me shit, man.
I swear we mentioned it to y'all.
Y'all had mentioned wanting to do it.
Oh, okay. We didn't tell you that we did it. Yeah, no,
Yeah.
it was 2 weeks ago? 2 weekends ago?
Crazy bastards.
Yeah.
I say y'all have fun with that crazy white people shit. I would fucking love to experience something, but at the same time, I'm like, I'm not sure I would be able to do it.
Yeah.
You would have to knock me out.
So sorry.
I don't know what it was, but I was able to hype myself up enough that I didn't get scared of it. I'm also a little bit of an adrenaline junkie. Like, I love roller coasters and shit.
I'm the same way. Absolutely love them.
So,
I haven't been on a roller coaster.
Really?
Is that
That
true?
shocks me. No way. Okay, well, we gotta take a day trip down to sketch-ass Six Flags Fiesta, Texas here, and
For a reason, I took my mom to Universal, and she's like, "Okay, you're gonna make me get on the roller coaster, aren't you?" And I'm like, "I was only gonna get on the roller coaster if you wanted to." And my mom's like, "Oh, thank God." We were both like convinced the other was gonna make us ride a roller coaster.
so is this Hellblade 2?
this
Yes.
is Hellblade 2. Have either of y'all played the original Hellblade? I have not.
Not yet. It's a game I own.
Yeah, we just
Never
downloaded
got
it. I
around to
think we're
playing.
probably going to jump into it now that our Zelda fix has kind of died down here. But it's really interesting. I think it's the premise is this woman, Senua, is actually, like, I believe schizophrenic. She actively hears voices in her head and has like these visions of different things going on. And during the time period that it takes place in, that's you're just a crazy person, right? You're not someone suffering from mental illness. You're touched by the gods or whatever. So we have this woman who is basically an outcast dealing with her mental illness, while also dealing with these, in her case, very real Norse myths interacting with her. So we've got this very eldritch walls curling around on itself and crazy stuff going on.
So in this story, this isn't happening. She is suffering from mental illness.
It may or may not be, depending on the case.
It's left vague.
Yeah.
Okay. But like other characters don't see what she sees, apparently.
In some cases, yeah. In other cases, like there's a scene where she's fighting a giant, and they're really fighting and getting killed off by a giant.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it makes it really hard to determine what's real and what's not.
Yeah, it seems to have like a Scandinavian background. Definitely deals with like what seems like I think Nordic gods and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
I'll speak definitely more towards it whenever I end up playing.
Yeah,
But
since none of us have played it, like don't quote us on anything yet.
Yeah.
Let's wait.
Do we
till
know
play it?
what kind of game it is? Is it like a
action adventure. I
yeah.
have pulled up the wiki right here.
But
so.
like, is it like a Souls-like? Is it like a Jedi Survivor type?
Good question.
From the little bit I've seen, it seems more like a Jedi Survivor type in the esque of like you're just walking around solving puzzles, kind of thing. I haven't seen anything about combat or anything like that, so I
know it's very
can't
story
answer on that.
focused.
Okay. Well, it looks creepy as hell.
Yeah,
So that's
fucking looks like a horror game, honestly. With what the fuck's going on.
just water going into weird patterns and shit.
Yeah, but I believe the developers, Ninja Theory, they've done a lot of work with actual experts in the mental health field and people actually suffering from these kinds of illnesses, and actually took from my understanding, a very nuanced approach towards it.
It's kind of disturbing hearing, like,
All
normally
the
when
other
people
voices?
voices in your head in video games, it's like one voice in it, or if there's multiple voices, they don't talk at the same time.
Yeah,
But they're kind of overlaying them. It's kind of
for purpose.
yeah.
It's
no,
trying to
it's
make you
very
experience the psychosis.
So the gameplay mechanics and concepts are a blend of puzzle solving, psychological horror, and melee combat.
Okay.
Okay.
And this is coming out in 2024. No month or date listed, but just the year. So
The original game is on Game Pass if you're interested.
yep. Now the next one. I seriously need to just say fuck it and start this series already.
Oh god, that's right.
It used to be the Yakuza series. It is now transitioned to the Like a Dragon series. And apparently we have the next one. And it's called Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth. And it looks like he either is in California or Brazil, honestly. Like he's waking up on a very popular beach.
My money is on Hawaii, I think.
Oh, yeah,
it's,
it could
it's
be
close
Hawaii.
enough to Japan, it would kind of make sense.
Yeah. Yeah, with mountains in the background. Yeah, you're probably right. It's probably Hawaii. And he's buck-ass fucking nude for this, but conveniently
for the
there's always
trailer.
something in the way of his fucking schlong. And everyone's speaking... Yeah, people are speaking English and he doesn't understand
so
it. So
it's either Hawaii or California. So they're bringing the Like a Dragon series to America. Is this the first one they've done in America? Haven't the rest of them all been in Japan?
I'm pretty
I
sure
believe
all
so.
of them have been in Tokyo, right? The same fucking
Yeah.
city.
Man, I really do need to get in these because it feels like a kind of GTA Saints Row-y type of game.
Yeah.
They're
I love both
goofy,
of those.
like beat 'em ups with tons of crazy like side content. Insane, absolutely insane.
Yeah, I just
love
need to say
crazy
fucking
games
go
like
ahead and start it, like, because I'm pretty sure like there's 0 and then from 3 onwards is all on Game Pass. So
Yeah, they're coming out early 2024.
next is Bethesda Presents.
Yeah, we got some
Oh, okay, that's right.
76
It's
updates.
yeah, Fallout 76 DLC.
Which has anyone played? Period.
Nope.
No, but I have friends that have that play it and like have wanted me to play it, and I've contemplated doing it, but at the same time, I can't do fucking living games for very long, so I don't know if it'd be worth it for me.
I don't love that Fallout went from single player to
MMO.
MMO. I don't love that, so I don't play it.
That's fair. There was all the controversy. I mushmouthed that. All the initial controversy that came out around the initial launch of this game turned me off of it. But I also wasn't really into Fallout in the first place.
It is. I've heard from multiple sources that it has definitely improved a lot.
Yeah,
That's what I've heard as well.
I've
Yeah,
absolutely heard that it's kind of fixed itself, but still.
I would
gonna
love, however, a co-op Fallout, like not an MMO version, but like an actual like co-op Fallout or a co-op Skyrim. That would be fucking dope, man.
I do like the aesthetic and stuff that they go for.
I
though, with a lot
love
of these.
the-
Oh yeah.
The like
Pip-Boy
transatlantic, like
50s, yeah.
talking into a covered mic. Like I love it.
And it is coming on Game Pass.
Yep.
Is all of Fallout 76 on Game Pass?
I
I
believe
think so.
Fallout 76 is on Game Pass.
Shit.
Yeah. This is just
Are you about
a
to take
new
back what he
update.
said and play it?
Nope. Fallout should be single player.
Oh,
single
this-
player only.
Oh, this game. That's right.
Oh, so
What
you
game is
disagree? You disagree with the co-op Fallout that
I do strongly. Yeah. What game is this?
This
it's got
is
some
Path of the
wonky-ass title.
Path of the Goddess.
Okay.
It is a Capcom fighting game, but it's got a very unique aesthetic to it. Very like Japanese yokai inspired.
Definitely get Japanese horror from it.
Yeah, it seems very interesting, and unlike most horror, it's popping with color.
It's almost like cartoon horror. A little bit.
You got the bizarre Japanese outfit at least.
Yeah. This is a fighting game?
It's like
Like
a
Street Fighter?
Not Street Fighter. It is more like how hack and slash kind of Devil May Cry-ish from my brief views of it.
Okay.
Oh, okay, yeah. It does very hack and slash Devil May Cry. Okay, I might check this out. That's so creepy, though.
Yeah,
shooting open like rib cages.
This is the kind of horror I dig. Like the ones that use these really crazy colors, but still are able to capture this just terror, otherworldliness.
This
is some gameplay here.
Like with this coming out right now, right at the same time as the anime Hell's Paradise is going on, it feels like very similar to it in some of the creature design, honestly, with how terrible and like crazy they look.
I might end up checking that out. That looks fun.
No date on that one.
Yeah. Anyone who digs Demon Slayer will probably get some enjoyment out of it.
Mm-hmm. Or even Devil May Cry.
Yeah.
It's like I played Devil May Cry. Oh, I played Devil May Cry 5 recently because it was on PlayStation Game Pass.
This is one I don't care about.
Hey, this is Forza. Brady, do you particularly care about Forza?
Cars Drive.
Cars Drive.
That's all I've got to say about Forza.
Yeah.
I
believe it's Motorsport 8, right? Is it 8 or 9?
Right to the end. I think they're just calling it Motorsport.
Oh.
I respect the game. It's an incredible graphics, really interesting controls. The concept's really cool.
Just give us another Horizon. The Horizon games are so much better.
Yeah, Forza Motorsport. Just they've dropped the numbering now.
Oh, okay.
It's fine. It's a car game. It's a racing game. Yeah, if it's
a
your
niche
stuff, good for it. Like I'm really happy y'all dig it.
Well,
the graphical fidelity on those games is incredible.
Oh yeah, that is absolutely true.
You got another Bethesda presents. Oh, that's right. This is the Elder Scrolls expansion that fucking.
Yes.
I've been getting recommendations on fucking Critical Role episodes. Or not recommendations, ads.
Sam Riegel ads.
Yeah.
Yeah, I believe this is for Elder Scrolls Online. Their MMO.
Yeah.
Elder Scrolls Online. I've really heard mostly positive things.
I have too.
Like if I was more of an MMO guy, I would definitely play it.
But it looks like they're going back to Solstheim. Is that what it's called?
It looks like it with all the creatures and everything, and seems like that DLC of the Dawnguard DLC. No, not the Dawnguard.
Dragonborn DLC.
Yeah, the Dragonborn DLC that you got with Skyrim. I can't remember what this DLC is called. It's not Solstheim. Fuck. We'll figure it out whenever it lists it.
But this is very Lovecraftian inspired, I will say. Like all the fish people, you got the tentacle monsters, you've got
Fungal forest kind of shit.
I do love me a fungal forest.
Yeah. Not sure what the fuck that is.
Creepy. That's what it is.
Very creepy. It's just wild to see, that classic janky Skyrim-y character. Like, the player character in Skyrim is very unique and moves very differently than other characters in Skyrim, so when they're moving around, you can tell which one's the main player.
Yeah.
And just seeing 4 of those walking around.
It's Elder Scrolls Necrom.
Interesting.
Yeah. Shadows of a Morrowind.
And that
neat.
That came out last week. So that came out a week ago of today. So then we got Overwatch 2.
Yeah, so this is actually kind of surprising. Blizzard was very public with when the switch over to Overwatch 2. They were canceling the story mode, all the single player content they had planned out for it, focusing purely on the cooperative side, which is fine, but it's not what they promised. I think that's most of what forced me out of Overwatch in general. But looks like they're finally looping back around to doing some story-based missions and adding a pretty decent amount of content.
Yeah. I don't think I'll end up picking it up still. Depends if my friends do. Honestly, that's if I don't have anyone playing it, I'm not gonna play it myself. So
I never played the original Overwatch, so I'm not particularly invested. It's not that shooter games like that, like multiplayer shooters, aren't really my cup of tea. So
Fair. There was a period of time where I was really into it, but there was kind of a harsh drop off, and then with all the
they do have some Titanfall-esque hero mastery course shit that they're adding apparently, which
it reminds me
seems
very
cool.
much of the Smash Melee, like break the targets.
Oh yeah.
Oh, and then there's just straight up break the targets at the firing range.
So they are okay. Yeah, because I also remember there was a lot of controversy. People felt kind of upset that they promised story missions and then nixed them, and now they're bringing them back on August
Yeah.
10th.
Yeah, so that's a couple months, and I think that's hinting either was a new a hero that's already out, or that's hinting at a new hero. It kind of looks like it might have been Sojourner, or it might just be a straight up new character that they were hinting at right there. So, but they already have the 5 that they have with Ramatra, Sojourner, Junker Queen, Kimiko, I think it is, and I don't know what the other support is called.
Life Weaver.
That's
I
it, Life
barely
Weaver.
caught it as it popped up.
Yeah. And now we have a chibi Persona in Persona
5
Tactica,
Tactics.
which seems, honestly, this might be the first Persona I play, which is sad, but I think it looks very fun to me.
This grid-based combat is really popular. I know with like the Fire Emblem crowd. Yes, exactly.
Yeah, I do like me some Fire Emblem shit. So I might have to try it.
And it's Persona 5 as well. So I'm not sure exactly how the story works. If it's just like the characters you know and love are yanked into a new world, or if it's just like
It's
I don't
Persona.
know. It's
The story
it's some
is
anime
always
bullshit.
kinda,
Yeah.
Persona is one of those games where it's definitely some anime bullshit. Like, if you've played any of the Final Fantasy games, that's also very much some anime bullshit. But this is
Chibi anime
Persona
bullshit.
is way more anime than even the Final Fantasy games.
Persona
that comes
Tactica
up-
is coming out November 17th
Yep.
of this year. So, another Bethesda presents. Oh, is this the actual?
This is Starfield.
I
Okay,
believe
yeah.
this is the start. Yeah. So after this presentation, there's a whole like 1 hour deep dive into Starfield.
Take it away, Bray.
Yeah, Brady, I'm sure you probably
Yeah.
want to dig really
So
far
I
into
watched the 1 hour deep dive. Basically, what this game is, they have your NASA punk, is very NASA-esque aesthetic. You get a ship and you go explore the galaxy. You can build and design your own ship or ships. Every part of the ship is customizable. It's like segmented, and you can build some really creative stuff.
And they
You
all
can also-
actively affect like the way the ship you actually move around inside of it and how it
Right.
pilots, correct?
Correct.
Yeah.
And what you can do with it. So you can like add a lot of cargo containers. If you want to focus more on shipping, you can add a lot of guns and shields. If you want to focus on stealing other people's ships, which you can do, you can be a pirate.
Nice. Is this multiplayer, like online?
No, it's all
Okay.
single player shit.
Okay.
Okay,
cool,
good.
cool.
I didn't want to fuck another Sea of Thieves having to worry about my goddamn
no,
shit
this
in
is-
fucking Starfield, man.
Stop.
This is basically Skyrim in space. Because there are a
That's-
few like of these giant settlements where there's a lot of shit, and there's also a lot of empty planets that are procedurally generated where you go for resources or to build a base, which you can also build.
Interesting.
You can
So-
hire NPCs to go on your crew. You can, you got the Bethesda skill tree where you can go into what you want to specialize in.
Right. I've been tangentially interested in this. I was really hyped when they first announced it, but my hype kind of died off. It really hit a wall when they did their the trailer before this where they showed like a lot of the gameplay, and it looked pretty comparable to what I was seeing with Skyrim itself at that point, and this was supposed to be next generational title. Granted, as a game developer, I shouldn't be taking pre-launch footage to heart because I know how much stuff changes, especially when you get into this final stage of development. But this has definitely re-sparked my interest.
Yeah, you should definitely watch the deep dive if you have any interests, because they really don't. They go into it a little bit more in depth with each of the mechanics that they want to add to this game, and they show mostly just gameplay footage of it. So you can it's not just, Bethesda is known for promising the stars, and I'm sure they are doing that with this game. But they did have some actual
that's close
gameplay footage to back up. Yeah, it comes out September 6th.
Did not realize how soon it was launching. That's actually insane. That's
going
wild.
to buy an Xbox XS for whichever the higher end one is to play this game specifically.
Holy shit.
Yeah, that's how hyped I am for this game.
Well, I know what we're doing for our September recording, I guess.
I know what I'm doing for my September recording.
It'll end up being October because we need time to fucking play.
You need at least a month.
Fuck yes. All right.
So this game looks really cool.
Yeah. I don't know exactly what the game's gonna end up being, but it's just fucking climbing. It's a fucking lot of climbing on, and you're actually using, your rope, your little clamps to actually,
tether yourself
and everything. I love climbing as it is. I haven't been in a while, but I need to go back. But it's called Jusant.
Interesting.
It's very much like a vertical platformer. It's a very cool concept, I think. They'll show a little bit of gameplay here in a second. We'll be able to dig a little bit more into it.
Is it one mountain you're climbing, or are you climbing lots of mountains?
Lots of mountains, I think.
I think this is the world. I think the world is mostly vertical, or mostly on this, everyone builds their houses in place and stuff on these vertical walls or something.
The fact that it's Donut that's doing it is also insane. Donut's been doing some wild stuff recently. I know the most from Life is Strange, and this is very counter to that. Yeah.
This is not Life is Strange.
They're also working, I forget exactly what it's called, but it's the, I think they might go over it in this direct, but the one where they're ghost hunters.
I know which one you're talking about.
Yeah, we'll come back around to it whenever it pops up.
It'll come on the direct. Man, this is a really interesting, because it's not just climbing. There's environmental things, plants you can interact with.
It looks like a puzzle platformer almost.
Puzzle platformer is what it looks like to me. Yeah,
which is
it's fall
very
this year.
much up my alley.
Fall this year,
I will absolutely be playing this game.
Hell yeah!
That art style, the gameplay looks fun. It just sings to me.
Guys, top 10 this year might be a little harder than we thought.
Dude, fucking Zelda's
this year
so
is
good.
Fucking stacked. This year is fucking stacked.
Oh, I was excited. I'm excited for this one too. This next one's called Still Wakes the Deep.
Oh, that's right. Here, we'll just let this play out because it's interesting.
It seems like a fucking Dead Space, but on an oil rig kind of thing.
Interesting. Okay. Horror game?
I think
so,
yeah.
It seems like it.
Yeah, it certainly feels like it.
What I've seen, it's very Alien Isolation-y.
Okay. Well, I don't like horror games, so I won't play it, but I can respect that it looks fun for people that do like that kind of thing.
And just like that, the fucking trailer's over.
That's it. Yeah. Wow, such a quick
early 2024.
Early next year.
It looks so cool though. It definitely gave the Dead Space there's something here with Dead you feel.
Mm-hmm. Any game that puts you in an isolated location can do some real vibe stuff.
Oh yeah, I was really digging this one too. I'm a sucker for these just different art styles, the less realistic, more cartoony.
Yeah. Is this the Dungeons of Hinterberg one?
Yeah, I want to say yes.
Okay.
This is Dungeons of Hinterberg.
I think so.
Because it looks like an RPG, but like almost set in the modern day.
Yeah, but you're still going around wielding magic and
Yeah.
swords and all that fun stuff.
But you do it with headphones in.
Yeah, jamming to lo-fi
Yep.
beats. Yeah, Dungeons and Hinterberg.
No date given though. Done by never mind. Coming 2024. Done by Curve and Microbird.
So I'm down. I'm gonna check it out. Oh yeah, jump scare Keanu. So, I've heard some news about this Cyberpunk update. Did y'all play 2024 at all?
I'm going to play it. I'm going to play Cyberpunk at some point. So,
Brady, you did. What did you think of it?
I did play it. Look, the elephant in the room with Cyberpunk is that it absolutely got way overhyped and had a rough launch.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't pick it up until a while into the development cycle, so a lot of the major bugs had been patched out. I think it's a fun game, absolutely.
Yeah.
It's not everything it was hyped to be, but it really couldn't be everything it was hyped to be. It's a lot of fun if you like. It's a first-person, almost feels kind of Fallout-y, but not as RPG heavy, more action heavy.
Right.
Like almost like kind of GTA, but not. I'm having a hard time coming up with an example. It tries to be like a GTA Red Dead Redemption style game, but in a corporate hellscape world.
Gotcha.
And it does that. Like you get cool cybernetics, you get cool weapons, you get cool cars. And the city itself is amazing, looks amazing, and there are a lot of fun quests.
So this is the trailer specifically for Phantom Liberty, the first DLC of Cyberpunk that brings Idris Elba into the mix, who is I'm pretty sure is the main bad guy of the DLC.
Another really interesting thing, I read online from someone who had a chance to play this ahead of time and review it, that they have CD Projekt Red's gone back through and reworked a lot of the systems that were giving people trouble.
Okay.
And along with this expansion, a very large patch will also be coming to the game free for everyone. That'll boost a lot of the gameplay and mechanics and make it feel more like the game that was originally promised.
I like that a lot.
Which, from what you were saying, they were already doing a really good job of fixing all the major bugs. So just adding more polish on top of that, I'm never going to complain.
Yeah. Some of they fixed the bug. Some of the core mechanics were a little underpolished. Like your wanted level was wonky. Police kind of just spawn near you. Yeah, there were a few things that were just kind of underpolished. The driving was all right. It wasn't perfect. There was some weird stuff there. Some of the quests were a little samey,
Yeah.
Go to point A to, yeah. But
it's hard to make a ton of it.
I am very much
individual
looking forward to the
content.
polish. I'll have to do another playthrough, I think.
I'll see if I can track down the list of changes that I found and send it to you if you're interested.
Oh, for sure. Send that to me. I don't know that I ever actually finished... Oh, no, I didn't finish the main... So I played through most of Cyberpunk 2077, and then my PlayStation 4 died. Died.
Oh, shit.
And I never finished it before I got my PS5. So now I'll play it with better hardware, with Phantom Liberty.
And this is another September release coming out on the 26th of that
26, man, I'm not going to have time to play that. I'll be playing Starfield.
month. We're not
You'll
going
be almost a month deep into Starfield, but
Hey,
That
I'll
won't
be
be enough
halfway
for
done
my
with my first base. Oh, this one. I believe this is the new City Skylines game.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
yes, that's right.
Which
is something right up Brady's alley.
have a blast with the first one.
Are you a sim guy? Do you not like specifically the Sims,
Not
but like
hugely.
city builders, that kind of stuff?
A little bit. Not like massively. But this game in particular I fuck with.
Nice.
I do more sandbox shit. Like I don't like do the actual sim of it. I just like building as much as I can.
Right.
Yeah, mostly, I'm trying to think of another game like this where I would do that, but yeah, it looks like they updated some of the mechanics a bit, like the way you can mass do roads and stuff, and kind of lets a little more fine detail on the way you design your roads. The graphics are definitely updated a little bit.
Are you gonna
It
play
seems
it?
like it's running a
Probably.
lot.
I will need to. I think this will be a game that I get when I get my gaming PC up and running, because this, like, I've played this on Xbox, and you can tell that it works better on a PC.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Just because
yeah.
it's one of those games where you have just so many options and having to like
It'd
click
be
through
easier just
three
to,
different
like,
menus. Yeah.
Use your mouse to click on things. Yeah, completely understood. October this year?
October 24th.
24th.
So
I'll play it.
You'll be in month 2 of Starfield.
Oh,
means-
it doesn't say it's coming out on PC. It just says Game Pass and Xbox Series XS.
Oh. Well, I mean, you'll have the
Interesting.
X, so if you
Maybe,
want.
yeah. I'll still be in the early stages of playing through Starfield at that point. Another Atlas game? Is this another Persona?
No, so this is, I believe, an entirely original IP.
What?
It's a lot of anime bullshit. Prepare to brace yourself.
Oh, hey.
It's a
I
metaphor.
play Persona and Fire Emblem, so...
Then you're probably prepared. But this one looks like it's set not so much in modern times, but in like a fantasy
Modern
future.
fantasy?
Yeah.
Oh, it does give very Persona vibes to it.
Seems
Oh,
interesting.
I'm not sure how I feel about the art style.
Yeah.
Yeah. I have a hard time with specifically trailers for games like this. Like, I'm trying, like... Oh my gosh. Shin Megami Tensei 5, I think, came out recently. And they had these very, like, cutscene heavy trailers with, like, ton of dialogue and tons of stuff flashing on screen. And, you know, we're in a position where I can't listen to Japanese and understand it, so I have to be reading what's at the bottom of the screen and paying attention to what's on the screen and bouncing around. And while I have trained myself with a bunch of the shows and stuff that I watch, with game trailers, I want to be paying more attention to the visuals and the actual gameplay.
Yeah.
So
That's Metaphor.
Refantasio.
Refantasio. Coming out in 2024.
Xbox Game Studios. Banner Saga. Okay, I like the Banner Saga trilogy. That was another one of those grid tactical gameplay games. Like
Oh.
I've
I've heard of Banner Saga.
Really good. It's a good indie game.
That's right. This one. Trent, you were interested in this one.
Yeah.
What is this called?
I think it's Towerborn.
Interesting. What do you do?
So it looks like it's mostly a, if I'm understanding right, like a side-scrolling RPG.
It's
Okay. Co-op? Okay, yeah, side scroller.
Seems like fun.
So-
It seems like something that'd be really fun to play together.
Yeah,
Yeah.
just
Like, with a group. Just go beat up on some fucking monsters.
Yeah, I
Looks like-
don't think I was able to fully form an opinion on this, but the art style's
I-
fine.
the art style's fun. I'd have to see more of it.
I
to know.
love the aspect of the fucking main city, or at least it looks like, is on that giant windmill tower.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
That one's coming 2024 as well.
What intrigues me the most is like the hexagon grid that's kind of being built up. So I
Yeah,
wonder if it's like
I'm
an
not sure
area
what that
control
is.
style thing.
All right. Yeah, this is Clockwork Revolution.
That's right.
Revolution. Do we know what kind of game it is? Oh, it's BioShock.
Yeah, I think it's done by the same people who did, or the lead mind behind the original BioShock.
Lady Ironwood. I swear there was like an iron something.
This is like a steampunk
Yeah.
BioShock. Okay.
So take the kind of vibe of Infinite, but set it more on the ground instead of in the sky. And give your main character time control powers.
I'm a sucker for clockwork robots, so
Yeah.
I'm here for it. And I like BioShock.
Oh, look, a dirigible.
If we don't blow it up by the end of the game, I'll be disappointed. Oh, we're definitely blowing up by the end of the game. You can't have your main villain giving a speech from it. Oh, the time powers are interesting.
It's got a nice graphic around it, too. That seems pretty interesting. Okay, that's cool.
It definitely gives me the vibes of, like, Deathloop or Dishonored, like, very arcane studio aesthetic.
Change the past. Oh, okay, so control the future. So maybe multiple timeline looking kind of thing. Maybe like your actions specifically affect what happens in the city. So yeah, definitely a lot like Dishonored.
I'm curious how much control you'll have. I love this dude's fucking sideburn beard thing. He's got this crazy, like, upturned beard coming either side of his chins.
Coming in due time. Fuck you. Fuck you guys.
Hey, look, they had a time theme, they had a time motif, they could do something like that. Coming in due time.
And I think
that's the end of it. Yeah. Because this just jumps into the
it jumps into Starfield.
Yeah, they saw that Phil Spencer talking at the end. Did y'all see the news recently that when he was talking in, I want to say Congress for some shit, like the Activision Blizzard merger, he was talking about the timeline of the next Elder Scrolls game and Fallout games.
Oh, he said it's going to be like another 5 or 6 years until Elder Scrolls 6, right?
5 or 6 years
No
until
fucking
Elder
way.
Scrolls 6.
Look, dude, we just got to take a vow and roll with it. Like,
No. Like, what? What are you doing that's so crazy in that game that it's going to take that long?
They're doing
Apparently
Starfield. That's what they're doing that's so crazy. They're going to release Starfield, and then their team's going to really start working on Elder Scrolls 6. And they're going to release that, then their team's really going to start working on the next Fallout. So it's going to be a decade before I get to go see another Fallout game, and I'm a little disappointed.
You would think they would build out another team.
Yeah, you'd think they'd have 3 different studios for that now. Like like these guys. Hey, you're done with Starfield, right? Start working on Starfield 2 now. It'll be done in 12 years.
We'll see.
Yeah.
If Starfield lives up to the hype, maybe it is a game that can span the 5-year, 10-year gap.
Yeah, and honestly, if Starfield ends up being good, I can see them like releasing it almost again, just like after a time jump or something like that.
Pull a Skyrim.
Yeah.
I'm hoping for some decent DLCs too.
Yeah.
Bethesda has a pretty good track record with interesting DLCs though.
Yeah. All right. Is that going to be the end of the podcast, y'all think?
Let's go. Name your. We just watched this whole showcase.
Oh fuck.
What games are you most interested in playing? Top 2 or 3.
I think the climbing one looks really, really cool. I dig that art style and that kind of gameplay. And then I think for me after that it would be Avowed. It really sold me on this generation's Skyrim.
Fair. That's fair. My number 1 is Starfield, obviously.
Yeah, that should not come as any surprise.
Number 2, I'm also Avowed, is my other one that I'm really looking forward to playing. from this showcase. There were just so many. There are a few that could end up being better.
Yeah.
The one Trent was pointing out, the Midnight
South of Midnight
game looked really interesting if it ends up being good. Fable could be really interesting if it ends up being good.
The Star Wars Outlaws does look incredible as well, so I'm really digging it, because I think, if I'm understanding correctly, it's supposed to be properly open world, more so than what Survivor was.
I take it back. I'm looking forward to Starfield, Avowed, then Star Wars Outlaws. I forgot that was so early in the direct. I didn't pay attention to it. Trent, what you got?
Instead of like picking a number one, I'm just gonna throw just three out there. That I'm first is gonna be the South of Midnight, because like I said, I may hate the fact that I'm from Louisiana, but I love any of the fucking folklore and shit in games that comes from Louisiana. I'm also gonna say Jasant, because I love climbing, and I really dig the art style for that, and the fact that they have all those houses on the cliffside and everything. I think that's gonna be like a really cool puzzle platform that I'll enjoy. And then BioShock's been one of my favorite games, so that Clockwork Revolution looking a lot like BioShock is really getting me hyped, only it doesn't have a release date!
We'll see. It'll come back around at some point, in due time.
But honestly, I there weren't many games in that showcase that did not interest me, so I will...
it was pretty stacked.
I got the next year is going to look like hell for me, and that's not even counting like some of the games that that we saw at the Game Awards that are supposed to be coming out later this year still, and stuff like that. Like, we still have Remnant from the Remnant 2 that comes out in July that no one's even like covered or anything, that I'm excited for, as well as there's still the rumors of Silk Songs amongst the wind. I swear to God, I'm waiting for my goddamn Silk Song, man.
I just kicked the shit out of my cat.
Forward to that game.
Silk Song is my Starfield.
True. Okay, that's fair.
Like,
that's fair.
I got mine with Zelda, so I'm good.
Yeah, like Hollow Knight. Whenever I played that game, it hit my top 5 like instantly. So I'm ready for the fucking sequel. Let's go. Let's fucking do it. Like, if they were to announce a Sekiro 2 today, like I would be covering that. Like I'd be in the fucking looking at every fucking article, like perusing everything about it until it came out. So,
nah, man, you got Armored Core 6 coming out first.
Yeah, I might end up trying that out. I don't know. FromSoft has definitely at least earned my respect and order. So like maybe I'll try it. But given that I haven't played the apparently 13 other ones before it or something like that,
there's a lot of other ones. Yeah.
I'm not sure. Plus, I'm not a big robot guy, so or a big
mech.
Gundam guy.
Yeah. Well, alrighty. That was our thoughts on the Xbox Showcase, as well as some wrap-up thoughts on Survivor. My real quick review of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom is it's very good. I have 155 hours, and I have finally finished the story, but I'm still got much more to do. I'm only at 50% completion as of right now, so I'm keeping up that.
Awesome. Maybe next time, depending on when the next podcast is, we might go over some more some actual go in depth on Zelda, and maybe do the Nintendo one, or it depends. Well, we'll have to see what's on the docket, because I don't think there's anything out now. We got a whole bunch of stuff coming out in July though, so
yeah,
depends on when that comes out. We might not have a podcast in July, instead get one in by August, so we'll have to see. Anything y'all got anything else to say?
That's it on my end, I think.
It.
All right, cool. Well then, thank y'all once again for tuning into the Joystick Frequency. I'm Trent.
I'm Walker.
And I'm out of here.
Good night, y'all.
Catch you later on the next wavelength.
Bye.
Bye.